What's up, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, represent Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. I just want to break this news story to you guys. It came out just now. According to a source within the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame that explained to both the Athletic and Yahoo Sports, um, ex superstar Ben Wallace is going to join the class of the 2021 Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. With that induction, happening today for the 2020 class. It looks like the Hall of Fame is getting into a head start on the 2021 class, and now they just announced Ben Wallace as a new inductee into the 2021 class of the Basketball Hall of Fame. Um, with that induction, Ben Wallace has become the very first undrafted player in the history of the Hall of Fame to enter into the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is a high accomplishment. He was a four-time Defensive Player of the Year, you know what I mean, and helped lead the Detroit Pistons to the 2003-2004 NBA championship. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that really made his mark in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, he won the Defensive Player of the Year four times, which includes back-to-back years in 2002, 2003, 2005, and 2006. And it could have been easily five times in a row if it wasn't for Ron Artest, who took the award back in 2004. He was a four-time NBA All-Star from '03 to '06. Three times he was second NBA All Team. Twice he was third all team. Five times he was on the defensive first team. Um, he was on the defensive second team for 2007. Twice he led the NBA in rebounding, and in 2002 led the NBA in block shots. Um, Pretty much his career started out, in Alabama when he was basically the 10th of 11 children. Um, he attended Central High School in Haynesville, Alabama, where he received all state honors in basketball, baseball, and in football as a linebacker. And the guy that heavily mentored him the most was Charles Oakley. Having discovering him in a basketball camp back in 1991, and it was Charles Oakley that recommended Ben Wallace to Virginia Union. And after spending at least about a year, at least 2 years at junior college, he basically transferred to Virginia Union, where he studied criminal justice and averaged 13 and a half points per game and 10 rebounds per game as a member of the Virginia Union Panthers. Okay. Unfortunately, he was never drafted into the NBA in 1996. That was the famous 1996 class, with those great legends up there like Kobe, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, those guys. But, he started out his career, in the 96-97 season with with the Washington/Bullets and Wizards, but didn't play that many games there. Then he ended up, traded to the Orlando Magic, um, where he started to show what he was capable of. It wasn't until two in the summer 2000 when he was traded to the Detroit Pistons for the mega deal that sent the sign and trade deal that sent Grant Hill to Orlando. And on paper, it was a trade that benefited the Magic because they obviously got the grand prize in Grant Hill. But looking back in retrospect, it was actually the Pistons that ended up winning the deal because they got Ben Wallace at entering the prime of his career. Unfortunately for Grant Hill, the ankle injuries took away, the best years of his career as he was basically getting older. So that I think that trade really helped out the Pistons more than the Magic did, in my view. But it was his time with the Pistons that he really made his mark in the NBA. That year in 2000, he had his best productive year in the 2001 season when he averaged 6.4 points per game. While placing second in rebounding with 13 and a half rebounds, and then 10th in the NBA in blocks with 2.3. But then the 2001-2002 season, he improved his scoring, averaging 7.5 points per game, while leading the league in rebounding with 13 per game and 3.5 blocks per game, earning him his first of five Defensive Player of the Year awards. And it wasn't until 2004, with the help of Larry Brown, and especially that famous starting five with Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, and Rasheed Wallace, the Pistons went on to go to the NBA Finals and pulled off the mega upset to finish Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and that Laker team in 2004 in five quick games to win their third straight championship, their first since 1990. And to this day, the 2004 Detroit Pistons are perhaps one of the greatest underachieving champions in NBA history by far. I mean, this was a team that really didn't had a mega superstar or a go-to guy, if you will. They basically had a five collective guys that played their roles together, that played sound defense better than anybody. And I don't care what anyone else says. That Detroit Pistons team in '04 was perhaps the last best defensive team that you'll ever find in NBA history. You know what I mean? But after spending at least a couple more seasons in Detroit, he ends up, into Chicago at a sign via a sign and trade deal. Then we played at least one season in Cleveland before ending up finishing his career with Detroit for at least about four more seasons before ultimately retiring. His number three jersey was retired by the Detroit Pistons, and now he's now being accepted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, which he definitely deserves. Actually, I was one of those very few that was wondering when would Ben Wallace was going to get his nod into the Basketball Hall of Fame, but I'm glad to see that he was able to do that. To be honest with you, when I look back at Ben Wallace's career, he was pretty much the reincarnation of the kind of style and play that Bill Russell, used to play with back in the day. Not in sense of the scoring and all that, but I'm saying he was the kind of guy that focused his game on primarily the defensive side, rebounding, help defense, blocking shots against his own man, and also from the weak side, coming in with the game saving block shots. He was a defensive presence in the paint, and he really stood his own against some of the best centers during that time. Guys like Jermaine O'Neal in Indiana, you know, Shaquille O'Neal, who he had great battles with them in the 2004 finals, and also when Shaq was traded to Miami, they still had their battles even then when Dwayne Wade was entering his peak, and so they were Red Wallace really was really underrated and very undervalued as a basketball player. I mean, he wasn't impressive in terms of his offense. He was not an offensive type of person, but his ability to not just block shots, that's great, but his ability to control the game with his defense really set him apart against all of his other peers. And so, but for him to even make it to the Hall of Fame as an undrafted free agent, I mean, that's just something that's never happened before up until now. I mean, you've never heard an undrafted player making this kind of impact in the NBA, but ultimately making it into the Hall of Fame. And so, his legacy and what he's done for the sport speaks volumes of what he's did as a basketball player. So, congratulations to Ben Wallace, on making it into the 2021 class of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And definitely, he deserves his moment to enjoy because I got to tell you, there's so many other great stories of that Hall of Fame that you're going to hear tonight from the 2020 class. We don't know who the other members are going to be for next year, but I can guarantee you this. Ben Wallace, earned his way into the Hall of Fame, and he earned it the hard way. He earned it with hard work, determination, grit, and his game was never pretty, and it was never born on being pretty. But his game was definitely damn effective, and more importantly, his defense, especially during those Piston teams, cannot be understated enough. He was the anchor of those great Piston teams and winning that championship in 2004. So congratulations to him. Much respect to his game. Much respect to him personally, and a huge congratulations to his family as they're going to enjoy this honor with him into the Basketball Hall of Fame. But that's just my 2 cents. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.